Ever looked at the systems powering, the whole internet? These huge networks run by the big telecom companies, the service providers, and just thought, wow, how does that even work?
Right. It's pretty mind-boggling stuff.
Exactly. And today, we're diving into what feels like the Mount Everest of that world. The CCIE Service Provider certification. Sounds super advanced, doesn't it?
It definitely sounds intimidating, like something only, networking wizards could possibly achieve.
Yeah. But while it is a high bar, getting there isn't some secret handshake club.
Not at all. Think of this deep dive as your backstage pass. We're going to map out the journey, the key steps, even if you're just curious, about what it takes.
That's the plan. Our mission here is to demystify the path to that CCIE Service Provider certification. We'll break it into 5 clear milestones. Cut through the jargon so you can see the whole landscape.
Even if you're not packing your bags for the climb right now.
Exactly. So let's clarify CCIE. What's that stand for again?
It's Cisco Certified Internetwork Expert. Basically, it's Cisco's top-tier certification. It proves you have really expert-level skills in IT networking, hugely respected.
And the service provider track specifically.
That one zooms in on those massive networks we mentioned, the ones delivering your internet, your phone service, streaming, everything.
We're talking networks built for serious scale, serious performance. If you're fascinated by how the internet actually fundamentally ticks.
This is your area. It's the backbone, really.
Okay, but let's manage expectations slightly.
Yeah, a quick reality check. We're not saying you'll be a CCIE after listening to this.
No. But if you've got that curiosity, that spark about how these giant systems work and maybe what it takes to master them.
Then this deep dive should give you a really clear map of the journey involved.
All right, so the idea of taming these huge networks is cool, but where do you even start building those kinds of skills? That brings us to step 1, right? Building the base.
Absolutely. It's like you wouldn't try to run a marathon without training, right? You walk first, then jog.
Good analogy.
Same idea here. For something like CCIE Service Provider, that solid foundation isn't just nice to have, it's essential.
And practically speaking, what does that foundation look like? Are there specific steps or certs?
Yeah, the usual starting points, the stepping stones, are the CCNA and then the CCNP Service Provider certifications.
Okay, CCNA first. What's that about?
CCNA, Cisco Certified Network Associate. That's where you really learn the fundamentals. Think of it like the ABCs of networking. IP addresses, how devices get addresses. Routing, switching, how traffic gets directed. Just the basics of how devices talk to each other.
Got it. The absolute core concepts, then CCNP Service Provider.
Right. Cisco Certified Network Professional Service Provider track, that gets more specialized. It dives into the technologies you'll actually see in those big provider networks.
So, like what kind of tech?
Things like BGP, that's a huge routing protocol, basically holds the internet together. MPLS for making efficient data paths. VPNs, obviously, for secure connections. And QoS quality of service, making sure important stuff gets priority.
Okay, BGP, MPLS, VPNs, QoS, the heavier stuff.
Exactly. Now, technically, Cisco doesn't force you to get CCNA or CCNP before you try for CCIE. There's no official rule.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but honestly, everyone strongly advises it. Think of them as really valuable guideposts. Building up your knowledge that way makes the CCIE climb much smoother.
Makes sense. You'll have a deeper understanding, more confidence.
Precisely. It's like learning vocabulary before writing a novel, like we said. You could
Yeah.
try without it, but why would you?
Fair point. Okay, so let's say you've built that foundation. You've got the CCNA, maybe the CCNP Service Provider under your belt.
Yeah.
What's the first official test on the actual CCIE path?
Right. The first official bit you have to pass is the core exam. The official name is 350-501 SPCR.
SPCR. Okay. And what's that like? Is it hands-on?
No, this one's a written exam. It's 2 hours long. Think of it as a qualifying round. It tests your theoretical knowledge before they let you tackle the big lab.
2 hours written.
Yeah.
What kind of topics are they grilling you on in SPCR?
It digs deep into those core service provider technologies. You really need to know your BGP inside and out. Other advanced routing protocols, too. MPLS complexities, different kinds of VPNs.
Okay.
Then there's segment routing, which is becoming super important for traffic engineering, QoS implementation details, and increasingly the basics of network automation and scripting.
Automation, right. That's everywhere now.
It really is. Essential for managing these massive networks efficiently. So the SPCOR exam covers that baseline, too.
So you pass SPCOR. What does that get you?
Passing SPCOR basically proves you have the required theoretical knowledge. It's your ticket. It means you're now eligible to actually schedule the big one, the CCIE lab exam.
Ah, okay. It unlocks the next stage.
Yeah.
So for someone prepping for SPCOR, any pro tips, resources?
Definitely. First stop always is Cisco's official study guides and documentation. Can't beat the source.
Makes sense.
Beyond that, lots of great online training options exist. Places like INE, CBT Nuggets, they have really comprehensive video courses, practice questions, that kind of thing.
Useful. What about free stuff?
Oh yeah, don't sleep on YouTube. Lots of experienced engineers share amazing insights there. But the absolute key, seriously, is practical application. Meaning you can't just read books or watch videos. You have to get your hands dirty. Spend time in a lab environment, even a virtual one. Build things, break things, fix things.
Right, like actually configuring BGP, not just reading about it.
Exactly. That hands-on practice is critical. It cements the knowledge way better than just passive learning. Like, you can read about swimming all day, but you won't learn till you jump in the water.
Great point. Okay, SPCOR passed, ticket punched. Now, the main event, right, the thing everyone talks about,
Yeah.
the CCIE Service Provider lab exam.
That's the one. If SPCOR tested your knowing, the lab tests you're doing, it's intense. 8 solid hours, hands-on.
8 hours, wow.
Yeah, and forget multiple choice here. This is you, in front of a virtual network, needing to configure complex scenarios and troubleshoot real problems, just like the job.
Okay, that sounds like the real pressure cooker. What makes it so tough, besides being 8 hours long?
Well, the practical nature is number one. You're actively building and fixing, not just recalling facts. Then there's the clock. Time pressure is significant. You need to be efficient and accurate.
No room for slow and steady, huh?
Not really. It's designed to simulate those high-stakes situations where you need to solve problems quickly on a critical network.
So how on earth do you prepare for that kind of practical test?
Practice, practice, practice. The absolute must-have is setting up your own lab environment.
Like buying a ton of routers.
Thankfully, no, not anymore. Virtualization tools are amazing these days. Things like Cisco VRL or EVENG or GNS3. These let you build complex network topologies right on your computer.
Ah, so you can create your own little service provider network to play with.
Exactly. It's your sandbox. You can build the scenarios, practice the configurations, learn the troubleshooting flows without needing a room full of hardware.
Okay, essential tool. And inside that virtual lab, what technologies should people be focusing on mastering?
Definitely the big ones. BGP and MPLS configuration and troubleshooting have to become second nature. You need deep comfort there.
The cornerstones.
Absolutely. Then Layer 2 and Layer 3 VPNs, critical part of service provider offerings. Multicast routing comes up, segment routing, like we mentioned for SPCR, but now you need to implement it.
And automation again?
Yep. Being able to use scripting, maybe Python, to automate tasks is increasingly tested and, frankly, just necessary in the real world now. It's less of a nice to have.
So it really comes back to that hands-on time.
Totally. The single best advice is make a study plan and carve out dedicated, consistent lab time every single week. No skipping.
Get in the virtual trenches.
You got it. Immerse yourself. Lab, and lab some more. Eventually, those complex setups and troubleshooting steps start to feel intuitive. That's the goal.
We've laid out the steps, the exams, the intense prep, but let's talk about something maybe less discussed, but really important. The reality of taking the lab exam. It's not always smooth sailing, is it?
That's a really crucial point, the honest truth. Most people do not pass the CCIE lab on their first try.
Really? Most people?
Yeah, the vast majority. And you know what? That is absolutely okay. It's designed to be incredibly challenging. It's a very rigorous assessment.
So it's expected that you might need more than one attempt.
Definitely. Think of it like climbing a really tough mountain. Very few people summit on the first expedition. Setbacks are kind of part of the process.
Okay, so knowing that, what's the right mindset? How should someone approach this long haul?
You absolutely have to see it as a marathon, not a sprint. The prep time for the lab alone, it's usually somewhere between 6 months and maybe 18 months. Sometimes longer.
Wow, yeah, that's a commitment.
It is. And along that road, you will hit walls, you'll find topics that feel impossible, days where nothing clicks, frustrating lab sessions, setbacks will happen.
But the key is not letting those derail you permanently.
Exactly right. Perseverance is probably the most important quality here. Just keep chipping away. Focus on consistent effort, one lab at a time, one topic at a time.
Steady progress.
That's what gets you there, that persistent, steady push forward.
Okay, makes sense. Any practical tips for staying motivated, staying on track during potentially a year or more of hard study?
Oh, yeah. There are definitely things that help. First, make a schedule, a detailed study calendar, and stick to it as much as humanly possible. That creates structure.
Accountability.
Right. Also, don't go it alone. Join online forums, find study groups virtual or local. Talking to others on the same path is huge for support and learning.
Sharing the pain and the successes.
Exactly. And sometimes just watching YouTube videos of people who did pass, hearing their stories, that can be really motivating. Reminds you it's possible.
Good idea. What else?
Take good notes and actually review them regularly. Don't just write them and forget them. And maybe the biggest thing, focus on understanding the why behind the technology, not just memorizing commands.
Deep understanding over rote memorization.
Always. That's what carries you through the tough troubleshooting scenarios in the lab.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. The CCIE Service Provider, yeah, it's a huge deal, a major cert. But it's not some impossible myth.
Not at all. It's a journey with clear steps, a defined path. Hopefully we've managed to shed some light on what that path looks like.
Yeah, I think we broke it down well. Let's just quickly run through those 5 main steps again for everyone.
Sounds good.
Okay, step 1. Really understand what CCIE Service Provider is, what level of expertise it represents.
Step 2. Build that critical foundation. Usually CCNA, then CCNP Service Provider. Get the basics solid.
Step 3. Pass the core exam, the 350-501 SPCOR, that written test that proves your theoretical knowledge.
Step 4, the big one, prepare like crazy for that 8-hour hands-on lab exam. Consistent, dedicated lab time is key.
And finally, step 5, maintain focus and persistence. It's a marathon, expect bumps, keep going.
That's the roadmap. Achieving it, getting that CCIE number, it's really a testament to your dedication, your hard work, your passion for this stuff.
It definitely shows commitment.
Absolutely, and we genuinely believe if you follow a structured path and really commit, that CCIE number is totally within reach for you.
Well, thanks for walking us through that whole journey, and thanks to you for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
If you found this useful, maybe spark some interest, feel free to follow the show, share it with someone else who might be into this networking world, or, leave us a rating. It genuinely helps other people find the show.
It really does.
And just remember, every single expert out there in any field, they all started as beginners. Every single one.
That's so true. Keep learning.